Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 BMW 740i. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this luxury focused sedan for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This 740 is finished off in oxide gray metallic. MSRP is just over $111,000. Now this is powered by the 3-liter twin power turbo inline 6. It's paired to both a 48 mild hybrid electric system along with the 8-speed automatic, pumping out 375 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque. This is rear-wheel drive. It weighs in right around 4,700 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. Top speed is 130 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 19.5 gallons. You'll expect to see around 25 miles per gallon in the city, 31 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 126.6 inches. Its overall length is 212.2. It has a width of 76.8 and a height of 60.8 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for the 740i, this particular model has around $8,000 worth of options on it, including some for the front end, which we'll go over. Now, with the massive kidney grille right in the middle, there's a forward-facing camera along with the sensor for the adaptive cruise, and there's also active grille shutters. So these sections here will actually open up to provide additional cooling to the engine, and one of the packages provides it with the illumination for the entire surround. So at nighttime, that lights up, which is a really nice feature. Now, in recent years, BMW has gone to this split style for their headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. So the headlights and high beams are in the lower section, turn signals and DRLs are the upper, thinner strips. I think it's a really cool design with the bodywork separating both of them. And then there's a lot more cutouts in the lower section with more grille shutters and then air inlets on both sides along with parking sensors. And I think it has a nice design to it with the amount of gloss black and the amount of oxide gray to give it a really clean look. And then there's 2 lines that come down the hood to finish it off. Now as we work our way to the side, this has a nice set of 2-tone wheels with the M Sport brakes just behind that, finished off in black. And then we have the body colored side mirrors, which are power folding. There's a camera and a turn signal. This has a moonroof up top, so the whole roof is blacked out. Matches nicely with the window trim as well as the trim accents for the door handles and the entire lower side skirt, where this has some really clean lines in the lower end as well. And it has a little bit of a boxy design to it with the roof shape, but I think it gives it a great look. Now in back, this has a very small trunk mounted spoiler. There's the backup camera. This has LED taillights with a very dark housing. There's also all the sensors, the gloss black in the lower section, and you can also remote start this. So just triple tap on that lock button and you can start it up. You can also use that to shut it off. And of course you can use the key fob to gain access to the trunk, or just push on that button right there for the power trunk. It will open up, giving you a lot of interior space. Now the back seats do not fold down, however you do have that small cutout, but for the 7 Series you have plenty of space. There's also some battery access on one side, storage bin on the other. No storage underneath the floor, however. And then up top you can close the trunk. The button on the right side will lock the vehicle as well. And now as we work our way to the back, there's actually 2 different ways that you can open up this door handle. So the electronic button is up underneath, so simply just squeeze this together, or you can actually push on this back button here and the door will open up for you. So let's say you're grabbing some items or something, you can just quickly push on that, grab your items, the door will open, and now you are ready to go. Now on the door itself, you also have a lot of controls to go through with this small cell phone screen. You have display, which is going to adjust the brightness for the system there. You have phone. There's also my modes. You can get into your seats as well to further adjust the seating position. There's memory seats. You have the blinds, your lights, and then even the climate adjustments that you can get into. So clicking on that, now you can go through your seats along with your heated seats. You have auto function, and you can actually control both of the back seats. You have your window adjustment, lock and unlock, the release, and a little bit of storage, and a really cool design in the lower section of that leather. So very cool to have those adjustments for your backseat passengers. There's an illuminating M badge, and then we have more of the ivory interior color. And at 5'10", this is super spacious. I can almost stretch my legs completely out. There's also an area where you can attach tablets. You can charge them too. There's a little bit of storage. You have climate vents in the middle, a little bit of storage down below. And then right in the middle, you can fold this entire center armrest down where there's wireless charging. If you open this up, now you have 2 cup holders, and then you even have some more storage in the back along with some auxiliaries. And then we have that shade up at the moment, but you can still see through it, of course. Full Alcantara headliner for this entire model. And even at my height, I have 3 inches or so above my head. This is like sitting on a couch. This is where you want to be driven around in the back of this 7 Series. It is that spacious and nice. However, if you are driving this vehicle, you can do the same thing. You can open it up 2 different ways, and then we are greeted with the beautiful door panel with some crystal accents for the seat adjustments. There's memory seating controls. You have lock and unlock, all of your window adjustments as well, the trunk release, and a little bit more storage. And then M is down on the door sill, and we have the same design for these front seats. Now, there's actually 2 different ways that you can close this door. What's really cool about these being power operated is that you can actually hold them wherever you would like to. So unlike some other vehicles where you have to get it just right, it doesn't matter how close an item is next to you. You can position the door where you'd like to, and you can also put your foot on the brake and have the door shut too, which is awesome to see. Now this has a leather steering wheel with a flat bottom design, really cool spokes for the lower section. There's also paddle shifters too, cruise control, and then there's volume, music, Bluetooth and voice commands, and then controls for the gauge cluster. So let's start this up with the crystal engine start stop button. And for the digital gauge cluster, on the left side, there's miles per hour along with fuel level. Right side, there's the tach, and then you can also get to that information right in the middle. So there's content that you can scroll through. So you can pull all of this up as needed, even the augmented reality. So it will show the forward-facing camera right in the middle. You have some other content that you can go through, including the map, and then you have a G-force meter and your music. You can also scroll over to the layout. So you can configure the layout how you would like to see it, and you have a few different settings for the head-up display. So you can go through that as needed. Now on this left side, there's some air vent adjustments along with your headlight controls, and you even have another control to open up that door. So from the inside, you can use that. You can even tap on that to close it. And then leather covers the entire dash. And looking at the infotainment system now, we have all the shortcuts located down below. So you can get into home where you have this split style. You can view all this information on the left side while you have something going on that right side. You can get into all of your apps, so you can go through your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, climate adjustments, you name it, it's going to be in here. You can quickly go through that. There's also shortcuts into your climate, so you can get through all of that, pull up the navigation, as well as your music. And then the entire bar in the lower section is fixed. So that way you can quickly get through all this information, even the heated and ventilated seats and the heated steering wheel. Now you can also use the controls down below to further go through this info, so you don't have to use it as a touchscreen system. You can use these controls to get through everything. Now there's also wood trim underneath that, and then there's some fan adjustments. You even have the glove box release, so you can open that up, gain access to that additional storage, and you have some other air vent controls just underneath that. Now there's also a small storage bin in front of 2 cup holders that also have interior lighting, and you can even close them. So you can do that on both sides, hide them out of the way when not in use. And then over on this right side, there's volume and tuning. We have the start button, crystal shifter, so push that all the way forwards to engage reverse, where this has the 360 camera system. So you have all of the options that you could need to see around the entire vehicle. Drive is going to be all the way down. You do that one more time, it will go into the sport mode, and then the park is just behind that, along with the parking brake and auto hold. Now there's also a shortcut to the camera system, and if you push on these 3 buttons, you can get into your driver assistance as well as your chassis, and then this even has an air ride suspension, so you can raise the vehicle if you need a little bit more clearance. And there's also a few different driving modes that you can go in and activate. So depending on how you'd like to drive for the day, you can go into these and change the entire mood. It will also adjust sunshades depending on the mood, and we have a really cool intricate pattern in that entire roof. So very nice, just depending on what you feel for the day. And as far as visibility goes, you can easily see all around. A lot of glass, even though this is a large vehicle, you can see over both sides. As we set up now behind the wheel for the 740i, I did forget to mention that this also has massaging seats. They are currently on at the moment, and that really just adds to the luxury drive that this 7 Series has to offer. I've been in the 7 Series before, and this is where you want to be if you want an ultra luxury focused vehicle. You can also go with the 760i if you want the twin turbo V8. So if you're not interested in a little bit more power, this still gets up and moves. It's not loud, but it's quick for its weight as well. This sedan will get up and move, but it will do it very quietly, efficiently, and it's also incredibly smooth. So if you want just that ultra daily driving sedan that's going to be quiet and comfortable, something that you could have someone else drive you around in, this is a perfect option. We have so much technology to go over, and just, it feels like you're driving a cloud. It's so quiet up to speed. And we're in sport mode, but now let's go over to the paddle shifters, and we can go into second gear, give it another acceleration. Paddles are actually pretty quick. Now there is a boost paddle on this left side. So if I hold the left one for about 2 or 3 seconds, we have sport boost with a counter from 10 seconds. So I believe that's just either going to give you a little bit more throttle response, or it's going to downshift a little bit quicker. So if you need some more power, you can use that as needed. And turning radius is also very tight for this. And with it still in sport mode, second gear, here we go. And hopefully you can tell just how quiet this is, as well as how it's absorbing these bumps that I've been going over. It's really, you can feel them, but it's not abrupt. It's very, very soft and forgiving for these bumps for this particular road. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the all-new 7 Series. And it's what you would expect. You're spending this kind of money for the more luxury-focused sedan. This is the ride and feel that you want from it. It is so quiet. We have a lot of traffic currently passing at highway speeds. And even that truck that just passed, you can't hear anything. You are just away from the outside world when you hop behind the wheel. So if you're doing a lot of commuting and you want something that's very quiet and it's going to be comfortable to get you from point A to point B, this is the model to go with. Or the 760 if you want some more power. But it's very nice. You have a lot of room in the back seats as well. So that's really where you want to be if you can have someone drive you around. But even as a driver, you have all the creature comforts right at your fingertips here. But that's going to wrap it up for the 2024 BMW 740i. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this luxury focused sedan for me today. Definitely take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.